Sorry, everybody. Tech difficulties today. Coming out of vacation, still in vacation mode. Apparently, so thank you for bearing with us. And I think Mike put a announcement in the community that we're going to get started at 10 after today because we were just able to sort through this. So just bear with us another couple of minutes here, and we will in fact get started. So thanks for your patience today. Okay, so we can kind of dive in here today again, as we talked about the last couple of weeks, a little bit of a lull in this process, especially for you class 2021 families. Happy to answer any particular questions you do have. But again, for most of you, you're more or less buttoned up for this year, outside of maybe paying your bill or finalizing your decision for which loan to use. If you haven't done that just yet, now's really the time, because if you haven't been issued a fall semester bill, you can expect that to come really any day. Most schools issue that in and around mid-July, and it's usually due in and around mid-August, but just like everything, every school is different. So obviously you have to dial in on the school that's going to be most important for you. And then I know we have some class 2022 folks that are just kind of ramping up their college search, and we're about 2 weeks away from the Common App being accessible. And for those of you that are new with us, just from a housekeeping standpoint, all these will be recorded, so you'll get the recordings and the transcripts. Any questions you have, please put them in the Q&A as opposed to the chat. That way we can all benefit from them, and you can remain anonymous in there if you'd like. And again, as always, as it tends to be this time of year, we usually don't take up the full hour, because we'll have everybody's on the beach, lower attendance numbers, and kind of less action-oriented time of the year. So if we don't need the whole hour, we won't take it. But if we do, we're happy to. So again, any kind of questions, feel free to pop them in here. You may have saw some of the news that we put out or shared. I guess it was about 2 weeks ago now. Some of these impending FAFSA changes that we've been talking about for a while. We put out, started a petition where we've got over 6,000 signatures, I think, now, to try to prevent some of these FAFSA changes going through, because a lot of them are going to be not good for a lot of families. We got some good news there, in the sense that they're at the very least being kicked further down the road. So they're not going to go into effect until the 2024-25 school year as of now. So at least the next two FAFSAs, this one coming up in October, and then the following one, October of 22 and 23, or the following two, are not going to have any of these proposed changes, outside of a couple of the good ones that are also, minor. The only things that are going into effect right away is males no longer have to register for the selective service to be eligible for need-based financial aid. And if a financial aid candidate has a drug conviction, previously you couldn't be eligible for financial aid. Now that has gone away as well. Those are the only changes that are happening right away. So not super material. The big ones, like the discount for siblings, some of the big changes around for business owners, and then divorced and separated families, again, if they happen, are not going to happen for about 3 years now, or from now. So we're happy about that. And also our hope is, our end goal is that we can make enough noise before then to actually have some of these changes that I think are going to be universally harmful to families that they impact not go through. So minor victory, but it's definitely a victory nonetheless. So sort of, it sounds like a comment here as opposed to a question, but after accepting at a school, daughter was waitlisted at a school she had on her top list. On June 9th, the school sent her acceptance letter for January 2022, but it went into her spam junk folder, and we only realized after it was too late. Wow. It was not meant to be, but be sure to check junk and try to unsubscribe and ditch the schools that are spamming you. Just a precautionary tale about the email communication. That's a pretty wild one. I mean, for those of you that have been with us for the last year or more, or at least as of last fall, something that we preach consistently is that you have to be unbelievably dialed in with communication through email from the schools. And then also, and your students do, a lot of time, really, really important information goes only to the students. And that could be financial. It could be things that are probably better suited for the parents, like they're asking for tax returns or a specific part of a tax return, and maybe that only goes to the student through email, or in some cases only through the student's online portal. So they have to make sure that they're going not just in their email, but in the particular college or college's online portal to get important information from the school. And this would be a pretty extreme example of a student that got accepted off of a wait list, but it went into her junk folder. And so if you don't mind me asking, were you able to explain this, and was she able to be accepted off of the wait list after the fact, given the fact that again it went to spam or junk? I'd be curious to get the answer there, because that's, again, this is about as a crazy example that I can think of off the top of my head in terms of important information coming from the school. And yeah, making sure that you're checking the junk and spam in addition, because I mean, this is certainly an example that we'll preach moving forward, and hopefully there was still a happy ending here, but I'm not sure, and I certainly hope it was. But yeah, if you can share that, I'd be curious, because that is a wild example. So especially you 2022 families, make sure that you're all over this. I mean, this is something that again, is kind of a little bit of a disaster scenario here, and maybe resulted in student not being able to go to the school that they wanted to and were in fact accepted to in this case. Wow. So it was not in this case a happy ending where they obviously explained the situation to the college, but they had closed their applicant pool for the year and said that she can reapply next year, but missed the boat this year. And it sounds like all the other email coming in from that school did in fact go to the normal inbox, and this was just terrible luck. So really, really sorry to hear that. And thank you for sharing, because it just kind of reiterates how important it is to be all over this communication. And unfortunately, most of these colleges, even for something as important to this, they're not going to call home to make sure that you got that information as much as we'd all like them to, and they probably should for things of that importance level. But that's unfortunately just not the reality that most of these schools operate within. Just going to turn off my video here, guys, but just any other questions, please pop them in. We'll give it a few more minutes here, and if nobody else has anything for today, we'll kick it down the road to August here. Bill, anything else we want to add? Or are we gonna dismiss class early again today?
Yep. I think we could dismiss class early. Nothing to add. So, just everyone go enjoy the summer, enjoy the time with the kiddos, and yeah, we'll see you in August.
That's it. See you guys.